everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I am giving you a book review of Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Salem's Lot is one of Stephen King's more famous books. I've definitely heard about it a little bit. I picked it up last year at a book sale, and I actually looked it up after because I was curious because he's written so many books, and this is the second book that he's ever written. So this book goes back and forth with perspectives, but it's mainly about this writer called Ben Mears, who is from Salem's Lot originally. It's really called Jerusalem's Lot, but everybody calls it Salem's Lot. He's from Jerusalem's Lot originally, and he moved away from it when he was a kid. But a lot of things happened to him while he was there, like traumatizing things. There was a fire, the fire of 51, that he went to, and he went through when he was like 4 years old. And there was also the object of the story kind of is the Marson house, I think it's called, the Marson house, which is notoriously a serial killer lived there, and he beat his wife, and there's just a lot of mystery going on about that house. And he went in there when he was a young kid, and he claimed to have seen the body of one of the people that committed suicide there. Now he's back. He's in his late 30s, mid-30s, late 30s, and he's back because he wants to write a book, and that subject is on the Marson house. He has written other books, but he wants to write a book about that house, kind of to get it out of his system. To Jerusalem's Lot, and things are happening. He meets this young woman named Susan that he starts to date, and they're really getting on very well. But certain strange things start to happen, such as these two men have moved into the Marson house, and everybody thinks they're queer for each other, like they're in a relationship, but nobody really knows anything about them. The few times that one of them makes an appearance in Salem's Lot, he's kind of creepy and standoffish, and they're supposed to be running a furniture and antique store. And it's all kind of strange and odd, and everything that seems to be happening around Salem's Lot is kind of centered towards the mansion that these two men now occupy. Ben starts to figure out with some of his friends that there are vampires in the town, and that the two men at the Marson house, Barlow and Stalker, are at the center of it. The book really did well with its creepiness factor. I was really impressed by it. I thought it was kind of funny how, I know this is written in 1975, but I thought it was like basically every little tiny thing about vampires. Don't like garlic, don't like crosses, no running water, no nothing. Like every little tiny myth about vampires that is known is basically the vampire of this novel. But that made it all the more like scary. There was this main vampire, which ended up being Barlow, and it broke my heart when Susan became a vampire. I was like, why didn't you just kill her? I mean, I didn't want her to die either, but if it was between her dying and becoming a vampire, oh. And like when Ben had to kill her, when he had to kill her because they were reading, his friends were reading in the vampire lore that, you know, if you can have like the husband kill the wife if one of them turns into a vampire. And I was just like, no, Susan, if there was anything good to happen about this book, I wanted them to be together. I was like, I think the most shocking thing about the book was the fact that pretty much everybody in the town ended up becoming vampires as it started to escalate. Like Ben kills Barlow, or Barrow? I should start taking notes when I'm reading books that I want to review. But he kills the main vampire, and basically everyone that has ever been mentioned in the town is now a vampire, and I wasn't expecting that. I think several people that, like Susan, Danny, I wasn't surprised about Floyd. I was surprised about Danny because he was a child, but like I was not expecting for every single person to become a vampire. The most shocking thing was when, you know, when the priest and Matt and Ben and Jimmy and, oh, what was the kid's name? Was it Matthew or Matt? Oh gosh. Well, when the kid came along on the vampire hunts, I'm like, isn't he supposed to be like, what, 10 to 12 years old? I don't remember his exact age. Again, I should start taking notes. But when the kid came along, I was like, yes, he knows. And it's good that he knows so that he can be prepared if something happens. But why are you taking a kid on your vampire hunts? Like, that's just messed up. I didn't like that. I'm like, well, I mean, I could definitely, I remember thinking I could definitely see it happen if he told them everything he knew and then he made an argument for himself. Like the adults were like, no, we can't bring a kid on our vampire hunts. And I can definitely see it happening if he made a convincing argument for himself. Like, he killed my family. I know all about this. I'm coming. Like, if he made that argument and then the adults relented and let him come. But no, it was just assumed, yeah, this 12-year-old kid is going to come on a vampire hunt. We liked it. I read it in October, and I actually ended up finishing it in November, I think. Like early November, like November 1st or 2nd, because it just took me a long while to finish it. And I didn't get to any more of my spooky TBR. I read this is the only book I finished in October. It took a while, and October was a busy month. But I really liked it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. There's also a review on there. I will leave the link down below. I really liked it how at the end Ben took in the kid. Again, I should take notes. He took in the kid, and they're kind of like father-son relationship as they're traveling, because they're just trying to stay on the road, because now that they know vampires exist, they don't want to settle down anywhere. They're nomads. So I kind of like, at least if this ending had any saving grace, I like how Ben took in the kid at the end, and how they set the forest on fire when they went back to Jerusalem's lot, because they're like, all the vampires are in the houses just waiting for the sun to set, and then they're gonna come out, so we're gonna set a fire. So I definitely recommend this book if you want to read some Stephen King books. I definitely have some more on my waiting list. Right now, I am reading 3 books. I am reading Winter by Marissa Meyer, which is, I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. I love sci-fi. I love these books. So I was so excited. I ran to Barnes & Noble yesterday after work to get it. So I'm reading that. I'm reading Legend by Marie Lu because my sister's reading it, and it's kind of like a bonding experience for us. Reading Legend by Marie Lu, and I'm rereading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone right now. So tell me what you're reading down in the comments. Tell me if you've read any other Stephen King books, if you've read this book. And I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.